Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, rather.
Good evening.
It is evening time. I hope everybody has had a successful Monday. I got my boo thing with me here tonight.
Hey, everyone.
So give a second. You guys come in the room. Do me a favor. Say hello when you guys come in so that we can acknowledge you. And then I want you to do me a favor and share this with your followers. Let them know that we are starting our relationship series. So I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes to come in the room. I pray that you guys have had I've had a successful weekend, a great weekend. We're ready to get this thing kicked off. So this series is not Bible study driven per se. We're just going to take a dip of reality and just have some conversation. So we're going to talk about a few things. Hey, daughter, good to see you. So we're definitely not just talking about marriage. We're talking about all the ships. So friendship, courtship, parentship, all those different things, every ship that you can think about, we're going to talk about it, parentship. So we're just going to dive in, have a dialogue. I think that it is time for us as church leaders learn to master having some conversations. We know how to shout, we know how to prophesy, we know how to speak in tongues, but we don't know how to have healthy conversation. So throughout this series, you guys, we may have some guests that come on with us, especially for our married people. Some of our friends who have been married way longer than Pastor K and I are going to come in and join us and share some of their wisdom. I'm working on getting my friend of about 10 years on. We just have some conversation, man. Just have some conversation. Hey, Christine, good to see you.
Hey.
Good to see you. So share this with your followers. Give you guys just a few minutes, and then we're going to get started right at 7:35. We're going to try to keep tonight as short as possible. I want to save time for questions. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to toss them in the comment section. Apostle Dennis, good to see you, sir. Good to see you, sir. So yeah, man, y'all throw y'all questions in there. Apostle Dennis, my brother, I was just with him this past week in Ward Acres, Oklahoma. And man, did we have a phenomenal time, The power of God swept through the place. I do have the replay posted on the Bridge Worship Assembly. So for those of you that did not get a chance to join us on the live this past Thursday night, I do have it posted on there. Feel free to go in and watch that and enjoy what the Lord had to say and do in that service. Look forward to getting back there with them real soon. All right, so we're at 10. Let's keep these numbers going up. Do me a favor. Throw some hearts in there. I shared with you guys on Saturday. We are working on the algorithm of this page. We're at almost 700 followers. And so that means that not all of our viewers, not all of our followers are getting this notification because we're not interacting enough. So throw some hearts in there for me. Hey, Miss Emma, good to see you. Throw some hearts in there for me. Comment. Let me know that you're here.
Hey, everyone. I'm trying to read comments because it's kind of hard to see with that light.
Let me share this to my page.
So if y'all see me looking down, I'm seeing who's coming in and I'm reading comments. So.
Hey, y'all tag the other bridge builders in here. Need y'all to tag Malcolm. Let's get who else usually joins in? Jordan. Let's get him in there.
That light is bright.
The light is bright. Oh, ain't it bright?
Y'all, we too bright? I would leave it, but...
You gonna leave it?
I would. I just look down to see.
Okay.
Does it look weird when I look down? Cause
it does look, so you need to hold it up here.
I don't want to hold my phone up.
You're not holding it there, but you just... Blessing. Hey, y'all, I want to see y'all tag some of the bridge builders. Let them know that we're in here. Let's tag Jaworski. Let's get Malcolm in here. Let's get Jordan in here. Who else is usually on here with us on Mondays? Tell Malcolm. Say, Malcolm, where you at?
I said, Malcolm Alfred, where are you?
I need my people on here, especially my sons and daughters. I need y'all in here.
My son is digging. Give me a second.
So y'all, as you guys know, we are I am bivocation as a pastor. We are parents, so we do what we do to make it do what it do on Monday nights. Natalie did call. She said that she may not be on the live. She is doing some driving. But yeah, man, let's tag our faithful our faithful viewers, and then we're going to get started. That's right. Let's get Jamal in here. Let's see. There we go. I'm sharing it myself. Let's tag some people in here. Come on in the room. Okay. Come on in the room. All right, there we go. I've shared it. All right, so I said we're going to get started right at 7:35, and it is now 7:36, so I'm a minute over what I promised you all. So I'm going to turn down my jazz music because that's how we're kicking it tonight. So we are talking about, relationships, and for those of you that were on Saturday morning, Pastor K, who
shade. Don't be shady.
I'm not gonna be shady. So Saturday, while we were in prayer, I kind of went into two different veins and two different lanes, and I think it is the vein of the Lord for where we are going. Not only just in this year, but in this particular season, we started talking about a few things that are very imperative, and you need one to complement or to work with the other. And these three things were called vision, purpose, and we started talking about relationships. That was not my intent. I really wanted to stick with the vision and the destiny, because that's what I felt like the Lord was leading me. But how many of you know that you can't have or a vision or a purpose rather can't really come to pass absent of the right relationships? You need people. You need people. So you need friendships. You need accountability partners. You need these different relationships that life affords us to have. They are extremely instrumental in how we do and what we do, what it is that we do. I'll use a prime example. Those of you should know by now, Brittany is my spiritual daughter. I have my wife, who's not my spiritual daughter. Who's not my spiritual daughter, but they both add to what the Lord has assigned my hands to do as far as shepherding and building and pioneering this work. Now, both of them ate something totally different, but all of them unnecessary. Hey, Jamal, good to see you, sir. That's right, daughter. Tag them all in here. Tell them, get in here. And so...
I was trying to see what she was commenting.
Oh, she is tagging them. That's right. Get them. Miss Wells, I see Brittany came for you too. That's right. Get them all in here. So each relationship, I serve them in a different capacity. The way that I am with my wife, I am not that way with my daughter, and vice versa. These relationships are absolutely instrumental and necessary, not only for my sanity, but for the well-being of this vision. And so tonight, and I'll even I'll call him out by name, Pastor Justin, from Lake Charles, Louisiana, has been my best friend for 10 years. Even that relationship dynamic serves a purpose in my purpose, my vision, and my destiny. And so tonight, I think we wanted to initiate the conversation about talking about the need for relationships and understanding how to define each relationship. And then as we kind of progress throughout the month of February, we'll kind of deal with those relationships in particular. So again, this month we're going to be covering marriage and courtship. We're going to be talking about friendship. We're going to even talking about, as we deemed it, parentship. And that is both natural and spiritual. Your relationship with your parents oftentimes is a reflection of your relationship with God. So again, we're going to have these different dynamics, but tonight I just wanted to introduce this subject matter to you, especially in the month of February. We have a tendency to tense up because when we hear the word relationship, the first thing that we do is we go into marriage or, my boyfriend, girlfriend, or, things of that nature. But there is so much more context to that. So I'm going to let my wife give her input. She's like, she don't want to say nothing. She's sitting there looking all pretty.
I'm trying to see which way you're going, so keep going.
Okay, so again, y'all, so now we are definitely free-flowing. This is unplanned, unrehearsed. We haven't sat down together. We don't have a bunch of notes. So you guys are getting our raw interaction tonight. All right, cool? So the conversation that my wife and I did have today, we were kind of talking about which direction I wanted to go in with this particular series. Hey, Prophet Will. Good to see you.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Zion says hey too.
Zion says hey. So one of the directions my wife was kind of picking my brain on where I wanted to go with this. I was telling her, I think that it is imperative that we learn how to define certain relationships. And I touched on this a little bit Saturday morning during prayer. And I talked about making sure that you're setting the right expectations on the right relationships. I think sometimes we get frustrated with people because we have a demand on them that they don't have the capacity to fulfill. So there are certain roles, there are certain things that I desire out of my son. But where he is, as well as how old he is, he does not have the capacity or the bandwidth to fulfill those desires. So as a father, I can't place those expectations on him for the season that he's in. Those expectations are for an appointed time. Somebody type that in, an appointed time. An appointed time. And so even as far as my wife and I are concerned, Eben! Y'all, that's my brother. Ben. Eben, it's good to see you in the bridge tonight. The newly engaged, man, we're excited for you. So that's kind of where my head has been at. And tonight, listen, I want this to be very interactive. Okay, so we're sitting on the sofa for a reason. I didn't want to sit at the table. That's why I preach at. I want us to have a conversation. So I think more times than none, and you can chime in whenever you're ready. I think more times than none, a lot of times when we get frustrated is because we have set the wrong expectation on the wrong relationships. There are some relationships that come into your life, be it a friend, be it a significant other. I'm sorry, guys, if y'all hear my son. Is he okay? All right. I'm sorry, guys. My son is in rare form tonight. But anyway, I think sometimes we get frustrated because we put the wrong expectations on the wrong relationship. And a lot of times the expectations that get felt the most are expectations that are unspoken. So that means we go into these friendships, into these commitments, thinking that these individuals already know what it is that we expect or require from them. And a lot of times there is a misunderstanding and there is a breach in communication because you guys have not spoken, hey, this is what it is that I require. Prime example, I was recently pursued by a particular opportunity. And so I called a meeting with this particular individual. And the question was, okay, we're coming to the table. We understand that we have a common goal. We have a common end game in mind. But what is it that you are expecting from me? Or what is it that you want on my end of the bargain? Out of the gate, I should be able to tell you if I can meet you at the point of your expectation. I think a lot of times, especially in the genesis of a relationship, we get so caught up in the fluff of it all, in the feeling of something new, and the joy and the excitement of something new, that we oftentimes do not gas her up, Heaven, not tonight. I think sometimes we get so excited in the thrill or the infatuation of something new that sometimes we fail to ask the hard questions. What would this require of me? What did this require of me to give up? You know, the entering every new covenant or every new relationship requires another level of compromise. That's a word that you guys are going to hear throughout this entire series. It requires another level of compromise because you are now having to share a space, a dream, a vision with someone else. And so when you are alone or you are an island, you have no need to accommodate or assist anybody else. But whenever you start moving into vision, into purpose, into destiny, God is always going to send you a partner. He's going to send you a friend, a constituent, a comrade of some sort. And then at that point, you guys have to now consider the other person so that the vision can come together, the vision can come alive, and you guys can discover what are the weaknesses, what are the strengths, where do you lack? Not so that I can disarm you, so that I can aid you. And you see these parts function in every relationship. In our marriage, my wife has strengths and weaknesses. I have strengths and weaknesses.
What weaknesses?
You ain't all strong, woman of God. That's a weakness right there. And honestly, like you know, we're joking about that, but do you not understand that there are some people who come to a relationship or an agreement and don't see where they can be improved? And they're not open for criticism. Hey, Rebecca, good to see you.
Hey, Sister
I saw
Christine.
Sister Christine in here. Hey, good to see you. And so again, so even that in and of itself brings its own set of baggage. So again, you can chime in whenever you want to, because right now I think people are just enjoying you looking real cute.
No, I'm trying to make sure my son doesn't destroy the house and put cookies.
The evangelist is on the line.
Hey, Gabby.
The Dr. Gabby Simone. Good to see you. Y'all, my son is like, oh, so y'all on the sofa tonight, so I can do whatever it is that I desire to do. But I want people to hear your thoughts. I'll tend to the kid and.
No, I'm still trying to figure out where you're going.
We're just having a conversation.
So we're talking about relationships.
We're talking about relationships and expectations. How to set the tone for a relationship. Now, y'all, I want y'all to see this, because this is real life how conversations go in my household. I'm on a track, I'm running somewhere, and I would have told my wife, hey,
how many times did I get up and step out?
She didn't step out that much.
Yes, I did.
But so okay, since I wanted the raw interaction tonight, and you know what I love about us is that leaders have a tendency to put on facades and fronts and act like they got it all together. I love the fact that we have people that we can be absolutely raw and transparent with. My wife can have as many blonde moments as she wants tonight, and we know you guys are gonna love us. So again, a weakness for my wife. My weakness for my wife is that she gets so caught up in everything that's going around. Get caught up with the kids, tending to the house, to where moments like this.
You tried it.
Moments like this, she's like, I'm still trying to figure out where you going. I've been walking the same direction the entire time. So
I'm still trying to figure out where he going.
So it's true tea.
She said true tea.
It's true tea.
All right,
it's true tea. So so what happens in this moment? So let's pull a relationship principle out of this. Now, because 9 times out of 10, I'm the one typically teaching and getting ready for these Monday nights, and I am a very private person in my preparation. A lot of times, whenever I want her to teach, I have to remember you have to cue her in on what your thoughts are. Now, I'm going to tell you the downfall of us, because we are both extremely prophetic people, and a lot of times we can almost read each other's minds. We feel the need. I know I do. Sometimes I don't feel the need to talk, because in my mind, she already knows which direction I'm going.
But today, not even today. Last week.
She tried to pick my brain.
I didn't try to pick his brain. I'm the type of person, I like to have structure. I like to have a layout. There has to be a foundation in whatever I go to do. And so, whereas Terry, he's more of a fly-by-night. I can't do the fly-by-night.
I'm more spontaneous. Let's use spontaneous instead of fly-by-night.
I like fly-by-night.
I like spontaneous. It sounds better. I think it fits my swag.
Terry's more of a fly-by-night. And so...
Hey, son, good to see you.
Hey, Malcolm. And so, all week, I asked for a layout. I wanted a visual of what it was that we were going to be discussing.
Right.
For every Monday, we needed to have a topic.
Right.
And so he was like, we're just going to wing this. We're just going to, we're going to get on here and we're going to talk. And I'm like, we still need to have structure.
Scooby.
We need to have, we need to have structure. We need to have, not so much of a syllabus, but we need to know what it is that we're going to be talking about, so that way we can know what direction that we're going in. So,
right. So again, in the confines of talking about strengths and weaknesses. So again, I'm gonna tell you guys, while we are very much alike, we're also polar opposites in the same breath. So my wife is very systematic. She now, as much as you guys hear me teach on Monday nights, I am not a teacher. I am not a teacher. I am a prophet through and through. If anything,
an outline.
You see,
thank you.
This is what I love. I love the interaction. So let's explain.
We gotta have an outline.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just explain the differences and why one needs each other. And now again, this is not just in the context of marriage. I want you guys to take these principles that are just these nuggets that are coming up and just apply them to every relationship in your life. So what we differ is that my wife is very systematic. She's a bit programmatic. She likes to know what's coming next. Whereas, and teaching is a dominant grace on her life. Now, she's a prophet through and through, but teaching is a dominant grace in her life. As my son turns around in circles, I am very spontaneous. I'm prophetic in nature.
Fly by night.
and as she would say, fly by night. So which means that I will wake up out of my sleep with an idea, a dream, a vision,
and he just wants to.
And I am going to run full speed ahead.
Just go with it.
I'm going to run full speed ahead.
Which direction are you going?
Right. I'm going.
Why are you going in this direction?
Right.
What's the purpose of going in this direction?
Exactly. And see, my thing is that.
Where are you headed?
And see, these are all of the questions
Do you know
that somebody with her personality type would have. Now, for my personality type, that irritates my soul. You know why? I don't care about all the details. I see the now. I am like a GPS. I just need the starting point and I need the finishing point.
Even the GPS know where it's going.
Right, but my thing, but I'm like the GPS.
It has an endpoint.
It has an endpoint.
It has an ETA.
Well, my thing is, I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm going to give you an ETA. I'm going to let you know where I'm going to be, when I'm going to be there. Now, the how behind how I'm going to get there, a lot of times that is the gray point. That's right, Gabby.
Thank you, Gabby.
So I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why the both are absolutely necessary. If I live my life in this prophetic, fly by night, wake up out of a dream, vision, get it done type person, then while we'll have a whole lot of stuff, there will never be, there'll be direction, but it'll never be clear. We'll always have an end game, but we'll never have a process that says, this is how we're going to get there. My wife is the balance to my chaos. She is the ground to my sky. So when I decide I'm going to live up here in the clouds, and listen, because I know I got a lot of prophetic people on here. Every prophetic gift.
Exactly.
Every
you
prophetic
need
gift.
Details.
But here this is. Now, coupled with my apostolic. Prophet Will, are you still in here? I hope he's still in here. Now, coupled with my prophetic anointing and my prophetic office, there's also the apostolic grace, which is very visionary. Now, Apostle Will can tell you this, and if Apostle Josh is on here, he can tell you. For me, she can tell you, I like to delegate. I don't like to.
Dennis, you said
Apostle Dennis is in here too. I don't know if he's still in here. But all of these apostles that I'm connected to, you guys let me know if this is a commonality. We only care about the big picture, and we would rather delegate the details to somebody else. The apostles that I'm connected to, if you guys are still on here, let me know if that is something's got to be caught, others got to be taught. And you see, now I'm gonna tell you that's funny that you say that, because my spiritual mother actually quotes that pretty often. She says some stuff. I don't know. Is he in here?
Is he?
Apostle. If my pops is in here, let me know. I didn't see him pop up. Darnell, good to see you, sir. So yeah, and one of them will chime in. One of them will chime in if they're still in the room. But I'm very visionary, end game oriented. So all I need to do is see it. I'm gonna hustle and grind. Oh Lord, I'm gonna hustle and grind till I get there. Now the details on how all that's gonna happen doesn't necessarily matter to me. I'll figure it out as I go along. But that's not all the time. That is not a good thing. Because the Bible said, Habakkuk 2:2, as I quoted it to you guys on Saturday, Habakkuk 2:2, where it says, write the vision upon tables, or write the vision out upon tablets, make it plain. That way those that read it, they can run with it. And this is the same in your friendship. These are the same things in your marriage. It's the same thing in your ministry. Especially those of you that are visionaries, those of you that are entrepreneurs, those of you that are go-getters. Sometimes we have a tendency to leave out the details. But the problem is that when you begin to pray for help or you ask for assistance, they don't know where to pick up and they don't know what part of the process you're in. And so now they're coming to the table, or when God sends you your relationship, when he sends you your husband and your wife, you ought to be able to articulate to them what part of the game you're in. Okay, here is my end game. Here is where I'm going. Here is where I see myself in these next 5 to 10 years. But here is where I'm at with this process. That way, they know how to come in, undergird, and assist. Men, it is so important that as you are preparing yourself for marriage, for those relationships, that you are learning and being intentional about where you are in the navigation of life. What phase are you in? What phase are you in? Because a lot of us are asking for God to send us a spouse, for God to send us friends, connections, and we can't clearly articulate what part of the process we're in.
Keep going.
My wife is gonna make me through this whole thing tonight by myself. And now here's the thing: I can't get frustrated at her not knowing where to chime in because I didn't do the due diligence and cueing her into where I was in the process. And somebody asked me
who, what, when, where, and how.
Again, and I wanted this raw interaction because I need you guys to see a real life situation. I didn't want to plan it out and have it all fluff. Now, next week, I promise y'all, I'm going to sit down with the woman of God at some point this week, and we're going to have a 2-hour conversation on what we're going to talk about next Monday. But for this first one, I wanted raw interaction. I wanted raw feedback, raw response.
So you set me up.
Not that I set you up, but I think as leaders, and I know you guys are going to appreciate this next statement, I think it's time for us to get rid of the facade so that people can see the real version of us, so that they themselves begin to mark where they are in the journey. I feel like a lot of people give up on certain relationships or on certain standards because we have put up a fictitious standard on what that looks like. And so we come to church or we get on live every Sunday and we look cute, but you guys don't know that we had a full-fledged argument before. That didn't happen tonight, I'm just saying.
No, we wasn't arguing.
But there have been moments, she can attest to this, and I think we had Brittany laughing about this. There have been times, Gabby, there have been times I've been on my way to service in a full-fledged argument with her. I mean, hands up, top of the lungs. I look at her and I say, we'll pick this argument up when we get done with church. Get in the church and prophesy till I turn blue in the face.
He didn't make me a list. And see, we may end up arguing after this live because I did not get my list.
Now, Rebecca,
I've asked
lay off that list, woman of God.
For 2 weeks.
She did. But now,
2 weeks.
But now here's the funny part about it.
Two.
Here's the funny part about it.
Not one.
Prioritizing. So now she asked me for the list about 2 weeks ago.
Y'all heard him, right?
She did. She asked me for the week about 2 weeks ago. Okay, guys? She asked me for the list about 2 weeks ago. But what ended up happening was I had another assignment on my hands. We love you too, Gabby. So I had another assignment on my hands. And so my focus was on the one thing that was before me. I had this assignment. Now she don't understand me, y'all. Sometimes she just don't get me. I just want to be understood.
That's that fluff.
But no, so I had another assignment. I was working on a few other things that I had before me, and so I kept telling her, we'll talk about it. Well, blew it off. And then last week, I really wasn't trying to have any external.
He blew it off.
I blew it off, and again, because in my mind, I'm okay. I know what I'm going to talk about.
Come on, come to the carpet.
I'm gonna have my deliverance session because she gonna help me get free tonight.
Lift your hands.
She gonna help me get free tonight.
Come on, finish the statement.
And so again, last week I had a few other tasks on my list that I chose to tend to. And although I knew where I wanted to go with this series in my mind, because I shared with her early on in January that February I wanted to do a relationship series. And so again, we didn't have a whole lot of I had tunnel vision. And then the week of this particular assignment, and so I had an assignment. I had an assignment last week in Oklahoma City. And so my heart, my mind, and all of my attention was on that assignment. Let me hit this target. Let me make sure that I get this thing done.
Terry has taken on multiple.
I've taken on multiple tasks
at a time.
And so then what ended up happening, what should have happened was, I should have taken Friday to rest, like I said, and then Saturday we should have been able to sit down and come to some type of understanding on where we were going.
Thank you, Jesus.
I'm getting free on this live tonight, y'all. The pastor gets free. The prophet gets free too.
And it don't take that much work.
No. And so now here we are. But out of this, there are principles that can be pulled that can help you all. So communication is another one. Now I know we talk about that. We talk about that a lot.
Communication.
But next to communication, what's the other C word? Let me see if you got your good prophetic head.
Communication.
No, next to communication is comprehension.
I can't comprehend what's not communicated.
But then, if you are communicating absent of comprehension, then that makes communication null and void.
I can't comprehend.
Well, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying next to communication.
So we needed to communicate.
We did need to communicate.
In order for us to comprehend.
We did.
Where we were going.
Right.
Mr. I'm a GPS.
I'm a GPS. All I need.
With no ETA.
With no ETA. Because what's going to happen is all you have to do is give
we
me
just riding.
But you ain't lost. Well, you probably lost because you sleep in the car when we take trips. So you wake up, you don't know where we at.
He tried it, but I'm gonna let you keep going.
Praise the name of Jehovah. So no, again, it just goes back to setting those. So what would you say? What do you think are? What do you think next to setting expectations in relationship? What do you think is another pitfall of different relationships? We're not just talking about in the context of marriage or courting. We're talking about in friendship. What do you think oftentimes next to communication, what do you find is the biggest breakdown on why relationships end up breaking down eventually?
I can't believe he quoted you, but you ain't lost. We're
not.
I am.
I'm giving her directions.
He's trying to give me directions now. Which is, I don't like
Jermaine, we are taking map quests.
I'm going to answer his question. No, we're not doing no map quest.
We're doing map quests. I love you.
You trying to get me turn by turn. That's like we driving. Mm-hmm. We're driving. Mind you, we're in Dallas, okay? It's nothing but traffic. And you got me riding, and I'm waiting for you to say where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till
not
we pull
up on
the
turn, but in enough time for me to know, hey, I need to get over in this lane in order for me to merge off, or in order for me, come on,
foundation starting from lies, trust,
fellowship.
Now talk about that. So what?
First, I want to finish where I was going.
Okay.
This is why it's needed to have effective communication. So that way I don't have to wait till we get on the turn in order for me to know that I need to turn. Because we live in Dallas. It's nothing but traffic. So now I'm jumping over, or I have to wait to get over, possibly miss my exit, because you're going to tell me to turn right now. And you could have told me that when we were miles back.
So now so before we go to that question, my question is, how does that translate into our everyday relationships? Because life is a journey.
But we still have to know where we're going.
There's
an end goal in mind. Right. And you have to, while you're journeying on this journey,
right,
there are going to be things that are going to come. But like hiccups will come on the way. But if we are going on this destination, if we're traveling on this road together, and you know where we're going on this particular day, effective communication.
For a good
which is why you need to let me know before where we're going. Not wait till I get on the turn to say turn here. Because now you're causing me to freak out. You're causing me to get anxious when I could be calm, and we could just ride together real smooth if we communicate.
So can we say that, translating that into relationships, a lot of times we can miss God-given moments and God-given opportunities to reach our destination at the set appointed time, but we miss them because we failed to communicate to those that were with us on the journey. It is imperative that as you begin to develop connections and relationships in this season, you have to be intentional about communicating the destination and the step that it takes for you guys to get there. Because how can I let you know if you're going the wrong direction if I'm not cued into your navigation system called life to know exactly where you're going?
Which is why we have communication.
Exactly. And so again, I'm just trying to take something so natural that's happening in real life time and just translating it to a point to where we can understand. So now let's go back to the point of expectation. So now I understand that if we are going to do this thing called life together, I have an obligation as the leader of this family, as the head of this family, to communicate. And here's this word. Somebody type this in. I have to check in.
Right.
I have to check in. Somebody type that in. I have to check in. I have to check in my platonic relationships. I have to check into my romantic relationships. I have to check them into my accountability relationships. Somebody type that in for me. I have to check in. Now, this is not a control method. But how do I know where to undergird and assist you if I have not checked in with you to say, this is where I'm at in this journey? There have been times when my wife and I have taken trips. We've taken trips out of state, or we've gone somewhere. And, either I have worked or what have you. And the check-in point was this. Although we're going to the same destination, and I have assumed majority of the responsibility as it pertains to driving. There's going to be a certain point in this trip I'm going to have to, listen, I'm going to have to pull over so you can know where I'm at physically. Because although I can push myself, God, I'm about to help somebody. Although I can push myself to drive the total distance, is there really a need for me to push myself and risking those that are on the journey with me to prove that I can do it? Or should I check in and say, hey, at this particular point of the journey, I am maxed out. I have given the most that I can give, listen, without running on empty and without jeopardizing the entire journey. I need you to step in and pick up where I left off. But she does not know where to pick up where I left off if I'm not communicating, hey, I am tired. Hey, in this point of the journey, I cannot go any longer. Hey, I need you to be to me what I have been to you. But listen, it pays, and I don't know why I keep getting the analogy of a car that keeps coming before me. In the journey of a car, you should not be riding with people that don't have the ability to drive what you're in. What makes us great partners is that the vehicle of life that we're in, check this out, we both know how to navigate and operate it. And now I wasn't going to go here, but since I feel that segue, I'm going to go there. This is why it is important that you don't be unequally yoked. Can we go into that conversation? This is important that we don't become unequally yoked. And so a lot of times when we use that context in the phrase of church, we try to marry people that carry the same title as us. So, if I'm a prophet, she has to be a prophetess, and then we're going to be equally yoked. Or if I'm a pastor, she has to be a first lady, so we can be equal. And that's not even close to what that he's talking about. When you are talking about, come on, we should both wear that S on our chest. That's right. And so what that means, when we talk about being equally yoked, when the Bible talks about the yoke of an oxen, it is actually talking about a weight or a constraint to that particular plow, which means that each oxen knows how to carry a certain amount of weight or knows how to pull a particular amount of weight. But what ends up happening is if one oxen is stronger than the other, that oxen will then pull and possibly cause the other oxen to damage itself or overwork itself. So what the farmer will now do is he will put the weight difference on the other oxen so that the ox can balance themselves. That way, when they are pulling the plow in the field, one oxen does not feel like the other has more responsibility than the other. And so the delegation of the farmer is to say, let me make sure that I even the weight. Somebody type that, even the weight. I have to even the responsibility so that when they get tired, when one gets tired, one understands that I am carrying the weight of the other. And so what I'm telling you is that if you're going to be in this journey with friends, with pastors, with significant others, you have to make sure that they can bear the same level of responsibility that you have. Come on, they need to be able to uphold you. Can you pray for me? Come on. Can you uphold me? Listen, can you uphold me when I'm down? Can you remind me of who I am when I am losing sight? Come on. Can you keep me on the path that the farmer has me on? Come on. He has given us a path. He's given us a direction. He's given us an end game. But the problem is that we continue to connect with people who don't understand the weight of our assignments. And that's in every area. Come on. You're dating people who don't have your capacity. Come on. You're friends with people who don't bear your capacity. And check this out. Not only do they not bear your capacity, they don't even have your urgency.
Yeah, because while you're trying to go up the mountain, they are still at the... I've always taught the analogy of unequally yoked as going up a mountain. Mm-hmm. So you've already started the process. You've already started the journey going up. And then you have a friend or whatever that's down at the bottom that's looking and analyzing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Because they may be interested or they may be curious as to where you're going or what you're doing. They may have an interest, but it's not so much a similar interest. It just looks interesting. Mm-hmm. So while you're going up, they're looking at your process of going up and they're questioning in their mind, well, can I really do this? And so instead of them going up with you, they're they're still at the bottom trying to figure out, well, how did you do this? So now you've stopped. And you are looking down trying to tell them, well, I did this and I did this and I did this. And so I did this and I did this and okay. And I did this. I lost my train of thought. I did this and I did this to get up. And instead of them taking your step by step, they're still looking at it and trying to analyze it like, well, I don't necessarily know how to do it like that. Or it doesn't seem this easy. So then yet again, instead of you still being able to continue on, you now have to stop. And you are still looking at them like, well, it's not that hard. You can just do this. You can do what I did. But instead of them taking that advice still, they are still trying to they're still in a place of not wanting to be completely honest with you and tell you, well, I really don't want to do this in the first place. But they're going to make you feel as though you need to come down and help them to start going up. But what they did was they've given you that, they have that weight and that power of pulling you down instead of you being able to pull them up. So when you're unequally yoked, like he said with the balance, instead of you being able to lift them up, they've been able to pull you down.
Can I put a pin in there? Be careful of people be careful or be aware of people that are infatuated with your destiny but despise your process. I'm going to say that again. Beware of people that are infatuated with your destiny, but despise your process. I'm going to say it one more time for the Holy Ghost. Beware of people who are infatuated with your destiny and despise your process. Which means that there are people who see the potential of who you can become. And they're in love with the potential of who you can become, but will despise and tear you down in the process of becoming. We got to be careful because there are some people that will only connect to you because they see the potential of who God is making you to be. But the entire time, listen, even Jesus said it like this: if you can't suffer with me, then you can't reign with me. Now, if Jesus had the prerequisite for his disciples that said, listen, if you cannot suffer with me, then you can't come to the top with me. You can't kick it with me with the 2 fish and the 5 loaves. Come on. You can't kick it with me walking on water. You can't kick it with me walking on the mountaintops and be absent or decide to betray me or deny me at the point of my crucifixion. Because it is at the point of crucifixion where you find out who's worthy to walk with you in resurrection.
Right.
Woo, that's good. My God, tonight. I said only those that can be present with you at the point of crucifixion are those that are worthy to sit with you at the point of your resurrection. Somebody say, prove it. Judas, and I'm gonna teach a whole nother lesson. We're gonna teach a whole nother lesson on Judas. But for the sake of what I'm talking about, when Judas denied him, Jesus could have, because the Bible said that when Jesus got up, right? When Jesus got up on the third day, the Bible declares that men that were in the grave got up as well. But because Judas was not willing to suffer with Christ in his crucifixion, while everybody else that died in the grave got up, we don't hear that Judas was resurrected. And there was very well a possibility that Christ could have got Judas up. But there's a reason why we don't see the return of Judas, because Judas denied him in his process of becoming. So folk that don't have the gall, the bandwidth, come on, the understanding of what comes to you after this season is because these folk counted you out at the point of your death. These folk counted you out at the point of them selling you out. But what they didn't realize was that the sellout was necessary. They didn't realize that the betrayal was necessary. Because what was coming after my betrayal, come on, what was coming after my heartache, for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross. The problem was that Jesus knew, good God Almighty, Jesus was aware of the joy that was set before him. Judas didn't. And so you got to be careful that you don't let people be privy to the joy that is set before you if they're not willing to sit in the pain and suffering with you. Jesus said it like this in the garden. He said, listen, I am praying because my life is on the line. Come on. I am warring with the Father concerning his will and his plans. I came back and you couldn't even pray with me for 1 hour. Man, listen. Be careful of those that don't have the capacity to wait with you in your darkest season. Come on, because if I'm going to commit to this friendship, if I'm going to commit to this relationship, if I'm going to commit to this covenant, it is absolutely imperative, come on, that you stick with me in a season where I feel like I'm dying. Come on, because how you respond in my suffering will determine what I give you access to when I'm no longer suffering, when I'm in triumph. How you respond in my suffering will determine what you get access to in my triumph. Good God Almighty. Because the 12 that rode with him after the crucifix, the Bible just says that after Jesus got up on the third day, that he sat with the disciples 40 days and did miracles. Come on. He was able to reveal another side of himself. Good God Almighty. He was able to reveal another side of himself. Come on. The resurrected one was able to sit among the apostles because they were willing to suffer with him. They were the ones that saw him taken up. Those that denied him. Those that could not be with him in his darkest hour. Them, Judas, the betrayer, was not privy to what would happen after I get up from this. Listen, here's another relationship point. You've got to be okay with letting some folk go. And here's a common downfall. Chime in whenever you're ready. Here's a common downfall. A lot of times we think that we're going to end with who we started with. Man. Sometimes we think that the people that we start with. What did Malcolm say? Sometimes we think we're going to finish with everybody that we started with. And that's not always the case.
So they would have tried to talk him out of it. Right.
Exactly. And so you need some folk in your circle who understand that this suffering, this pressing, this gut-wrenching season is absolutely necessary for who God has called you to be. Mm-hmm. No, don't talk me out of my suffering. Help walk me through it. Because Jesus understood this is necessary. It is necessary. Jesus rebuked Peter when Peter tried to talk him out of it.
Yes, he did.
But no, it is absolutely necessary that I go through this. Now here it is. It is your job to communicate. It is your job to communicate again where you are in the journey.
Yeah, I was wondering who Elsa was. She put like Elsa. I was like, who's Elsa?
Frozen.
We have a boy. We don't watch Frozen.
We haven't watched Elsa since we had our niece and nephew at the house. So yeah, man, those are just some points that I wanted to bring with you guys. So again, I think you need to go back and reevaluate the relationship that we have been in, the relationship that you have committed yourself to, and understand this: it is okay. It is okay. Hey, Pastor Levi, good to see you, sir. And check this out, guys. It is absolutely okay if you've outgrown certain relationships. Just check in. And I'm gonna deal with this with church folk. We are so bad at lying about why we chose to end certain relationships.
It was my season to walk out. It was my season to walk out.
You know, my season was up. You know,
or it was an assignment.
Or was an assignment.
It was.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm kind of going all over the.
Love you too.
We love you too, man. I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place, but I want to hit this. Hi, Mr.
Paul.
Hi, Mr. Paul. Good to see you, sir. Check this out. How you enter a relationship needs to be how you end the relationship. If you went into it honorably, it is imperative that you exit that same relationship honorably. Prime example. There was a friend of mine. We had a big falling out. This is maybe a little over a year ago. We had a big falling out. I'm not gonna say a big falling out. We just stopped talking. The individual did not know why I was upset. I didn't know if they were upset with me, but we just stopped talking, and we stopped talking for like maybe almost 6 months. And then I got to a point where the Lord constantly kept bringing this particular individual before me, and I'm like, I guess I'll reach out. When I reach out, I wouldn't get an answer. And then I didn't realize at the time I started reaching out that there were a series of events transpiring in their lives. I found this out a little bit later on. But I got to this point in this particular relationship where I said, hey, listen, at some point we need to have a conversation. Even if the friendship is not reconciled, we owe it to each other to end this relationship honorably. I hope I'm helping somebody. God cannot bless the next covenant, the next relationship, the next friendship that you are engaging in or going to because you dishonored the last season. You dishonored the last relationship. And how you stop at a particular situation is how you will start the next. Which means that if you are, I'm about to mess up. Even if you are in a divorce, and we've dealt with this situation this past year. Even if you are dealing with divorce or if you are dealing in separation, you cannot, and stop me if I'm going too far to the left, but you didn't enter that marriage dragging that individual. So you can't leave that marriage dragging that individual. Mm-hmm. Come on. Because that relationship is a reflection of who you are. And some of us have a bad habit, especially when seasons are changing or relationships are ending. We have a bad tendency to let people who are not involved in the relationship in. Or we allow people to taint or turn our view or perception of that individual prior to. Well, you didn't hate them when you were sleeping with them. You didn't hate them when y'all were dating. You didn't find them ugly when they were your best friend. But then seasons change and then our confession about them changes because we have a little bit more information on them. How you end the thing will determine how well you start off in the next. And a lot of us have sabotaged the potential of our next because we dishonor our now. I hope I'm blessing you tonight. Come on. We mess up because we dishonor the now. Let's even put this in the context of church since I'm a pastor. Okay? So when you came, you felt like the Lord led you to the ministry. Come on. You felt his hand upon you. You know, you said, I heard the Lord. He came to me in 3 dreams, 6 visions, and 14 clouds. It was clear that this was my assignment to join this ministry and to connect with this ministry, right? And then 7 months to a year, whenever you feel like your time is up there, now all of a sudden you're dragging the pastor. Come on, the church ain't nothing. You start finding all of these issues with these people and with these places that we have committed ourselves to just because we don't know how to, here goes that word, clearly communicate that the seasons are changing. Seasons are changing. I want to use this as a prime example. I was at a church here in Dallas. I served there for about a year. I said, all right, George. Thank you, sir. I served at a church for about a year. And I knew that my tenure there wasn't going to be that long. I knew that my tenure there would be about a year. And so right around that year mark, not really calculating, but right around that year mark, I told my wife, I said, I feel the grace lifting. Love these people. I'm still in fellowship with them, in connection with them. You keep turning my light off for a minute ago. I'm still in fellowship and connection with them. Still love these people dearly. But I knew that the season was changing. I knew that the grace on my life was shifting. And so what I did was I scheduled a meeting. And that's my wife. I scheduled a meeting. I sat down with the pastor. I said, hey, listen, here's what is before me. I feel like this is happening. I feel like this is the season that I'm in. Let us communicate. Now, check this out. The pastor was very honest. He said, personally, I don't agree. I'm trying to show you guys, especially our African-American brothers, so we're not well at this. I'm trying to teach you guys how to salvage and save relationships and covenants that have done well by you. He says this. He says, I don't 100% agree. He said, but I understand the season that you're in. And if this is the direction that you are feeling led to go in, you have my support, and I want you to understand that our doors will forever be open. Now, let me tell you, I've taken the route that we always take as black folk. Oh, well, my time up, my season up, and I ain't got to explain nothing to nobody, and I ain't got to answer no. What I would have done was I would have damaged people in the process. not only would I have damaged the leaders, but it would have left the people that I have loved, I have touched, I have communicated with without an explanation. And when the season was up, listen, the man of God was able to stand before the congregation of the righteous and say, hey, listen, you all won't be seeing Prophet Tarek and his wife anymore, and here is why. So now I recently had a chance to go back there and fellowship with them for their church anniversary. I was able to go back in there, and not only was I able to fellowship with a clear conscience, but I was still able to touch and cohabitate with the people that I once dwelt with, because I was willing to, here goes that word, I was willing to check in and communicate what part of the journey I was in. And it is imperative. It is imperative. Now, I went into this next season of my ministry. Here it is. With clean hands, pure heart, and a blessing. Because I was able to communicate, this is where I'm at in the journey. I need you guys. Here's going to be your assignment. Along with writing your vision and understanding your purpose. You guys have got to be intentional about checking in with those around you so that they know how to accompany and assign you in the next season. I don't know to pray for you if I don't know that you're weak. I don't know that you have questions unless you, yeah. You never burn a bridge because you never know when you're going to have to cross over it. You never know when you're going to have to cross over it. I shared this a while ago on another live. I shared this about my wife. My wife has always hated all things that are sales related. She doesn't like sales. She doesn't like anything that she likes to sell. That's just never been her thing. If there was a job that had any type of sales component to it, she did not want it. Well, this year she came to me. Those of you know she does paparazzi. And so when the woman of God initially brought it up to me, y'all be honest, I did not budge on it. I'm like, you don't even like sales. You don't even like getting on Facebook Live. So I'm not even. Yet here she is. But she said this, and we're getting ready to get off. She said this, and so I listened to her repeatedly come to me with the same excitement, the same yearning to get into this thing called paparazzi. Well, in order for you to get into paparazzi, you have to invest a particular dollar amount. I'm like, here I am. I'm not going to invest any money into something, and I'm thinking to myself, you're not even going to commit to it. It's not something that you even like to do. But what it was a moment of evolution, and it was a season for her that was changing. And when her season changed, here it is, what she was attracted to began to change. Now, had she missed that moment to check in, and I missed the moment to hear that, hey, this is a season of evolution, this is a point of change, I would have missed out on a very imperative season in her life. And listen, I would have been the reason for her stagnation and her development and her call for the next season. So your challenge, and we're getting off of him, your challenge throughout this month, I know we're doing the Vision and Purpose Challenge for the next, I think we're in day 2. We're in day 2. So, because we started on Saturday.
I wasn't on the last one.
Yeah. Woman of God missed prayer, so we'll put the pastor on blast. The pastor missed prayer on Saturday, so she don't know what's going on. So one of y'all who are in relationship with the pastor, let the pastor know the challenge that we have going on for the next 7 days. So we're on the Vision and Purpose Challenge, but accompany that with this throughout the rest of this month. I need you guys to list those that you are in covenant with, in relationship with. And then make sure that you are intentional about cueing them in on where you are in your journey, where you are in your ministry, where are you in your mental health. Come on. Effective communication. Because your friend does not know how to be your friend unless they know where you are. And again, we'll deal with friendships a little bit later on. So I'm kind of generalizing a lot of stuff tonight because I wanted to kind of make sure that we cover all aspects of relationships. But there are certain seasons where I need my wife to be a different version of the wife that she's been, because this version is not accommodating to where I'm at.
Wait, what?
As you begin to evolve. Like
I was reading Brittany's comment.
So she lost, so she don't even know. So let's use an example before we get offline. Do you find that you've had to adapt as I begin to matriculate in ministry and begin to take on various tasks?
Matriculate?
Yeah, good. My wife likes big words. She thinks it's sexy. As I begin to matriculate and grow in ministry, and you mind your business. As I begin to advance and do these different things in ministry, and I just gave you one moment ago. Stop being petty. As I begin to change and move into pastoralship, do you find that you've had to make adjustments to the version of the wife that you were to who I was as just maybe either a lay member or minister, as opposed to who I was as a prophet pastor? Do you think you've had to make different adjustments and accommodations? Or have I always kind of been this person?
Fly by night.
So what? Oh, she is so ag. She's so ag.
Come on, you got lost in that one.
No, I'm saying, but do you feel like you've had to make certain adjustments?
No, not really.
So do you feel like when you entered this relationship, and I want honest answers, do you feel like you've had to... So do you feel like you came into the marriage well aware of who I would become and who I'm becoming, so you already basically came in prepared?
I can't say that I was necessarily prepared, because throughout this journey, each day has unfolded something different. Each year has unfolded something different. We started off in one state, one city. We started off in one home, and throughout we've been together. We've been married for 5 years. So
6, y'all.
with each year has been something different. It's been a different unfolding of something. And so with each day as something unfolds, I believe that we learn to learn. We learn to not only learn, but we learn to adjust. We learn to adapt. We learn to understand each other along the way. So we started off in one state, one city, and then here we are now in a different state, in a different city. Once we got here, we started off at one ministry, and at that ministry we came in no one knowing who we were. Just this little couple, just the two of us knew each other in this little church, in this big city, in this little city, in this big state, because Dallas is not that big. I thought it was, but and then from there we ended up at a different church, and there we learned different things. And so where I'm going with this is, as we've journeyed through these years, we've been learning to, like I said, we've been learning to learn. We've been learning to adapt. We've been learning to adjust. We've been learning to become what we're becoming. So I don't think it's just that I'm having to make adjustments, but we're both having to adjust, because just 2 years ago, because Zion is going on 2, just 2 years ago, we became parents, you know?
Yeah.
With that, we went through a season where we didn't even know we were going to make it, but that's for a whole different life.
Yeah, we'll share that a whole nother time. We'll share our journey.
And in that, in separation, we had to learn each other. In separation,
coming back together, we've had to learn each other.
In reconciliation, we had to learn each other. And here we are, both serving as pastors, both in our giftings. We're in a new place, not just like physically, but we're in a new place where we're becoming who we're destined to become, just, a little bit along the way. Even now, we're in a new church. We are learning new people. So with the people that we are fellowshipping and building relationship with, new things are coming out of us because of what we're receiving. You know what I'm saying? And so along the way, and as we continue along the way, I think we'll continue to evolve. So
I guess we can say that tonight's live, we talked about the importance of communication. You guys can take away one thing remember to check in.
She said you walk this journey together.
We walk it together. We walk together.
Even in separation, we
have to walk it together. And you know what? There are even some days now, as you guys are in the beginning of the life, where my wife has to say, "Hey, you're walking too far ahead."
That's been just like tonight.
Like tonight.
I didn't have my list.
But we're gonna make sure that the woman of God has a list for next week. So again, we love you guys. We love you guys. Our goal as pastors is to be as transparent with y'all as we possibly can be.
And keep people on the same. We want to keep y'all on the same page as us. I
Right.
talk with my hands a lot, so I'm trying to not do that.
And I've been talking with my hands all night.
But we want to keep everyone on the same page as us, just like we want to remain on the same page with each other. We want to keep each other
Yes.
on the same page. Keep you guys on the same page
Yes.
with us, as we keep each other on the same page with each other.
Because just as I have accountability, just as they are accountable to me, my wife and Pastor Brittany, I am accountable to them, but the three of us are accountable to you. And so here at the Bridge, we are. I call it the name of the church, the
You're
Bridge, the
welcome.
place of connection. And so this
You're
is a point
welcome.
where we connect. I can't help you guys cross a bridge that I myself have not been over, or a bridge that Christ has not given us the wisdom. So this is the point where we connect. Our goal is that as we grow stronger, as we develop, as we grow in this thing called the pastoralship, as we grow as a church, but both virtually and in person really soon, I want to make sure that we develop a community of authenticity, a community of honesty and truth. The Father seeketh such to worship him, but they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And so we're going to always do our best to be as transparent as we can with you guys, to tell you guys the truth, because we're going to forever be a masked off type of leaders. No facades, no fakes, no phonies. I mean, there'll be some times we get on here on this live and she gonna be slap mad at me and y'all gonna know it. And there'll be some days where I get on here and she may be teaching with me and she been and got on my last nerves and y'all are gonna know it.
I bet she's gonna do that teaching now.
But we're gonna teach. And the thing about it is that I want us to restore the humanity back to leadership. I think leaders get mad because people dehumanize them, but I think part of it's our fault because we make ourselves like we're superheroes. But no, we cry just like you cry. Come on. We are susceptible to the same downfalls and pitfalls as you are. We need the same grace that we preach to y'all. We still need that grace. And just as we're growing and we're learning, as you're growing and you're learning, we're learning and we're growing. We won't cross every T and dot every I, neither will you. But one thing that we're going to be extremely committed to is making sure that not only we reciprocate, but that we receive the same measure of grace in which we give you guys. So I love you guys. I love you guys. Again, you guys make doing this on Monday nights absolutely fun. So tonight we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get ready to give. I know we. And again, y'all, I'm purposely not making the series heavy scripture again because I think we just need to go back to learning how to have some simple conversations. Cool. All right.
But
so
with the layout.
What layout? We're gonna give her a layout. I'm gonna because if I take up a text, I'm gonna preach.
Need an outline.
So
Even if you pick up a text on the next.
No, I won't pick up notes because if I pick up a text, I'm gonna preach.
On the next topic.
I'm gonna
Preach.
tune
I
in.
just want an outline. I just
And the
want to know
Bible
what
says
we're doing, where we're going. That's effective communication.
that is effective communication.
It's
So
not just him letting me know, it's me listening. It's him listening. So that way I could get my list.
the woman of God wants to. Somebody type, prophet, give Pastor K her list.
That's all I want.
That way, whenever I come back and I rewatch this replay and go through the comment section, I can see. So the 7 of y'all that's watching this, that stayed on to the end, y'all put prophet, give Pastor K her list. So when I come back and read the comments,
Excuse me.
I'll be able to see that I need to give the woman of God a list. But all right, guys, time has been far spent. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna sow. If somebody can put the Cash App in the comment section. Tonight, I want you guys to sow. I need to see that Cash App lit up. Again, this is going towards us moving or attempting to move into a building. My goal and my aim, the Lord says the same, is to have you guys.
Thank you.
My
Thank you
aim
so
and my
much.
goal is to have the Bridge Worship Assembly of Lafayette in a building by the summer. That is my goal. That is my goal. For those of you that don't have Cash App, you guys can do Zelle by using the email, thebridgewa@outlook.com. For those that don't have Cash App, you guys can Zelle. But that is our goal. Our goal is to move us into a building this summer. I will say this, however, I am not pressed to put you guys in a building. I want to follow the leading of the Lord. So if the Lord, if June comes around and the Lord says no, then we would just continue to do in-person meetings as the Lord leads. And most likely that'll be starting this spring as we move into some warmer weather. My aim and my goal is to do meetings with you all at least once a month. And get ready. Pastor Brittany, is probably news to you, but we are getting ready to do another interest meeting. We're getting ready to do another interest meeting. So we did one at the top of October. No, was it October? I want to say it was in October when we initially launched Bible study. It's probably a little later than that. Don't quote me on it. But we are getting ready to do another interest meeting. It will be virtual.
October. It was October.
It was October. Okay. We guys got a chance to meet my apostle, my father, Apostle Joshua P. Smith. We will set that time up as well. And the interest meeting is basically a time where we get to kind of cast vision, share our hearts. And so for those of you that have been tuning in on live and you guys are wanting to partner with the Bridge Worship Assembly, become members, you guys can always join, just inboxes and we'll make sure that we direct you to the website where you can fill out all of your new member stuff. You guys can do it there, but we will have an.
Of the church tonight too.
Huh?
We need to open the doors of the church.
Well, my wife said let's open up the door of the church. So if you're on here and you don't know Christ, or you need a pastor, you still need a pastor in a pandemic. We're more than willing to take you in, love on you, disciple you, help you figure out your purpose and destiny in the earth realm. Okay? Just shoot us an inbox. Say, hey, Pastor, that's me. I want to connect. I want to join. Or, hey, I want to know Christ. Let us know. And either myself or one of our pastors will be able to walk you through that prayer or make sure that we get the proper information from you so that we can plug you in. Again, every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, you guys can meet Prophetess Pastor Brittany on Prophetess, aka the campus pastor. You guys can meet her on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. for an hour of prayer. These Saturday mornings have been absolutely phenomenal. So if you are missing it, then you don't know what you're missing. So on Saturdays, you guys want to plug into that. But if there's nothing else, we love you guys, and we will see you all next week with Pastor K's list as we go into part 2 of the relationships. Oh, by the way, this Saturday, I take that back. This Saturday we will not have prayer. But I'm going to drop a Zoom link on the church page, and we're actually going to share vision and purpose. That was the challenge that I gave you guys. So I said this Saturday we will not do prayer, but I will schedule a Zoom meeting. It'll be the same time, 9 a.m. So come with your pen, come with your paper. And for those of you that had a hard time, and you didn't discover your purpose or destiny, or the Lord did not share with you a vision, come. Still show up in the live. Still get in the Zoom because you never know. Through conversation, you could discover what it is that you've been called to do. So no believer connected to this house will leave this earth not knowing their purpose, without knowing what they've been called to do, who they've been called to. Okay?
Is that understood by everybody?
Is
that understood by everybody? Like, what's going on?
Well, let me say it. If you don't know what's going on, first of all, you need to go back and you need to watch Saturday's prayer.
This is why I'm here.
This is why she's here. Well, first of all, if you guys do not know what's going on, I admonish you all to go back on the church page under post, scroll down to Saturday, and listen to Saturday's prayer. That's the first order of business. But for those who may not have the time to go back and listen to Saturday's prayer and message, the Lord spoke to us through prayer and really heightened our intentionality towards vision and purpose. We talked about how a lot of us are in these relationships because we're absent of vision and purpose. I shared with you guys that you guys can put your vision out either by way of a vision board or you guys can write it. But in that, I wanted us to horn in every day. I wanted you guys to take about 10 to 15 minutes to horn in on the thing that you feel like you've been called to do. Every day at random times, I'm not gonna set a particular time, but every day I'll probably drop a tip on something that you can focus on that can kind of help you get to an end game for your vision. So today, I shared with you all that oftentimes a key point of interest as it pertains to your purpose and destiny is the area that you find the most friction or fight in. Sometimes we consider opposition as a standoff when really it's a call to. And I kind of shared with you guys. Go back and watch the video. I shared an area that I have had opposition in as long as I've been knowing my wife and even before them. But I realized that I was dealing with that opposition because it was the area I've been called to serve in. And so when you are talking about your vision and your destiny, many times we've sat in meetings and we say, what's your purpose? And people are like, I don't know. So God put you here for a reason. God put you here for a reason. And in a season where people are leaving left and right, if you live through the first year of a pandemic, it's because there's a purpose and a plan for your life. And so I want us to not just come together and we not know exactly why we're here. So you guys, we're on day 2 of a 7-day challenge. It's not too late to jump in. You guys need to go back, watch that, pray into that. Take 10 to 15 minutes a day. And I want your entire focus and meditation and prayer to be towards your vision and purpose. All right. So I will see you guys Saturday at 9. Come ready to write. Come ready to talk. It won't be like a Facebook Live, but I want to interact with you guys. I want to see where you are in your headspace. And you guys don't have to be a member of the Bridge to participate. So anytime we do something that's open to the public, I'll drop the link in the church page, most likely by Wednesday or Thursday. And we will see you all on Saturday morning. We will not be praying, but we will kind of having a vision discussion.
Why are you doing it on Zoom?
Because I want their feedback. I can't really do Zoom via Facebook Live. So we'll drop the Zoom link in there. All right. Well, we love you guys. If you guys have not had the opportunity to start already, you guys have the link there. Until Saturday, we love you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.